Hello, Primals. This is a video dedicated to all of those that have had encounters with narcissists and how to overcome those obstacles that you've encountered with the narcissist. Now, I understand that a narcissist is something, well, it's a term that is, I think, overly used nowadays, and there's a lot to talk about on this subject, but one thing that I would recommend is everybody to look up after this video the story about narcissists in the Greek mythologies. I think it's a very interesting perspective on what a narcissist is like from a mythological perspective and how they come to be from a mythological perspective. But I want to encourage all of those people that are involved with narcissists and maybe that you're a bit lost or confused, or you have like the fog brain and you feel like your wants and needs are just kind of dispersed and dissipated in the air as soon as you try to request something from them, or as soon as you have a want or a need that gets dismissed. Something to remember is that you're looking for something that you already have. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's get a little bit spiritual. And if this spirituality topic isn't really for you, this is probably where you want to stop the video and move on to the next one. But for those that are wanting to stick around, something that I would recommend is that you increase your serotonin levels. And what exactly is serotonin? Serotonin is the feel-good hormone in the brain that helps you straighten your back, keeps your shoulders back, and helps your posture, everything like that. It helps you feel like you're winning in the world. You have self-esteem, you have positivity. What I would recommend is doing things that increase those serotonin levels, most of which do not involve the narcissist, because what a narcissist is someone that just takes from you. They do not know how to give, and they are essentially agents of the matrix. I know that's a very metaphorical way to view them, but that is what they are. And the narcissist's goal is to make sure that you have little perceived control in your life. You actually have a lot of control in your life. You just don't even know it yet. You don't even know what you're capable of. You are capable of so many positive, great things in the world. Don't let people that are just wanting to stomp all over your happiness take that from you. I know that it's hard. I know that it can be very difficult and challenging to deal with somebody that seems to just be a wall all the time. It's something that I grew up around, and I didn't learn about how to deal with narcissists properly until about 1.5 to 3 years ago is when I really started to develop my spiritual journey started about 3 or 4 years ago. But when I finally started to get the hang of it and realize that, okay, no, these people are not going to ever give me what I need, and to just accept it for what it is and to move on and find other people that can give me those needs. And so there are two reasons that I think a lot of people are unable to leave the narcissist. Number one is they don't even have the knowledge or the emotional intelligence to express themselves. A lot of the times that I had where I didn't understand what was happening in my relationships with the narcissist was when I didn't know how to express myself in a way that I could be heard. And that was very frustrating, as I'm sure it can be for you with whoever you're dealing with as a narcissist. But number two, the second reason is I didn't even believe in myself. And I find that is the same thing that happens with most people, is they don't believe in themselves to either know and trust who they are and what they're perceiving to be, to actually look with their eyes opened and to recognize what is actually going on, to actually believe that they are capable of making just, virtuous decisions that have an enlightened self-interest quality and principle to them. There's a lot of misconceptions around people that are, I don't want to call them victims of narcissistic abuse, because I don't know how that, like, I would have considered myself a victim of narcissistic abuse at one time in my life, but I realized that the more I kept telling myself I'm a victim, the worse I felt about myself. And so I want to not have you guys go through that suffering, because it just isn't worth it. You are not, you may have been abused, and that's really unfortunate, and that is something that my heart goes out to you for. But on the flip side, it's time to take responsibility. It's time to be disciplined in your actions. It's time to understand what is happening with you first. Put yourself first. I cannot emphasize this enough. And what does putting yourself first mean? I didn't even know what that meant for a long time. But now I understand that to put myself first means to be in my own body. And you can do that with a lot of different methods. One thing that I would highly recommend off the bat would be meditation. And meditation is a simple practice. It is basically a bench press for the brain. That's a good way to think about it. Think of every breath while you're doing meditation as a rep. And what you're doing with each rep is you're getting stronger, you're building different kinds of neurological connections, and you are increasing the serotonin in your brain by relaxing it. That is also something that I find a lot with narcissistic relationships, is that there's a lack of calmness. There's a lack of peace. And the reason for that is because the narcissists themselves are so lost in their self-image of who they think they ought to be or who they should be presenting themselves as, that they really don't know what you are, they see themselves as how would you say it? They see you as an extension of them. So if you're not feeling good, then they don't really want anything to do with you, because, well, they can't get supply. And what a narcissist really seeks from you is also supply that comes from control. And the supply that you give, so like the more genuine of a person you really are, the more honest you are as an empathetic person, the more that you can generate your own self-esteem, the more the narcissist is going to try to get supply from you. And it is up to you to determine where to draw the lines in setting boundaries and having honest conversations with yourself, because at the end of the day, that is going to be the most important thing that you can have in any relationship, is a relationship to who you are and what you are about, because that is the foundation. That is the primal solution to every single problem, is how you are handling your inner self. And if you are capable of managing your emotions and who you are as a person, you are bound for success in all aspects of life. And I don't mean that in a materialistic sense. I mean that in a bridging of the gap between spirituality and materialism. This world is spiritual. And by meditating and coming back to the breath, I will do a meditation video soon, well, sometime in the near future, on what exactly meditation is and why you should practice it. Or maybe, I don't want to say why you should practice it, but why it's beneficial to practice meditation. And there's a lot of different methods of meditation, for me personally, I've cultivated my own method because I've been practicing for almost 3 years, actually over 3 years, and I've developed my own way to do it, and I've practiced every single day for at least 10 minutes. That would be the bare minimum that I would recommend. And what meditation does is it allows you to relax. It allows you to calm down the mind. It allows you to be sitting more with your body. And meditation is a very key element to purify yourself from the perverse pathways of the narcissist that the narcissist is trying to implant into your subconscious mind. Now, the narcissist obviously may not even know that they're trying to do that, but to some degree, they do know what they're doing. They are ruthless. Do not make any mistake about this. I have had several different encounters with narcissists because I was very naive growing up. I was very naive because I believed that because I had good intentions, other people would have good intentions too. That is not the case. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm not looking at things from a bad perspective. I'm just trying to be realistic about what's going on. And with that, I want to encourage those people that while you're in meditation, realize that the foundation of your life is based off your breath and your heartbeat. Those are the two things that you have that you've never lost. And I know that sounds kind of corny, but it's true. Those are the two things that are most important in life. That heartbeat and the breath. So remember that next time you have any kind of run-in with these people, and remember that you are loved and that you are cared for by the Almighty. And with that, may peace be unto you, and have a good rest of your day. Till next time.